Okay, you guys, I forgot to film an intro for this video. I am so sorry. So we are just going to start it off by mixing up our lightener. I'm using my go-to Blonde Me by Schwarkopf, and I will be mixing Olaplex in with this. I'm going to be using this with 20 volume. I like to mix it to a pretty thin consistency just so that it spreads through the hair easier, and you will notice that this lightener does go a long way. And then we will be mixing in a 1/16 ounce of Olaplex. The Blonde Me does have a bond connector inside of it, and I've talked about in the past how you don't have to mix Olaplex into it. But for situations like this one where it's kind of considered a color correction, her hair is pretty damaged to start with, I want to have that extra insurance in there, so I added the Olaplex. And as you can see here, like I was talking about, I have a pretty creamy consistency. It's not too runny, not too thick. It's really, really perfect for what we're wanting to do today. Okay, and I am just mixing up Redken Shades 5N with processing solution, and we are going to be using this as a paint in between her foils because she does have a root color that's grown out, and her natural level is lighter than her root color, so we're going to be mixing this in just between the foils so that it blends really nicely. So I'm going to give you guys a peek to what her hair looks like right now. As you can see, she has about a level 5 on her base. It's permanent color, and then she has those faded out brassy ends. But you can see her natural level up there's a 7. So she has that lighter regrowth, the darker band of color, and then the faded out lighter ends. So we are going to be giving her a full highlight today, doing the paint between of a 5N, and then we are also going to be just toning and doing a bunch of other things to even this color out. So usually when I do color corrections, I usually start off with either a teasy light or a highlight, and that's just so I can get the lift in there, see what we need to do, and if it is a color correction or we are trying to get significantly lighter, this is just the best way to go about it. There are certain times when I will do Scruples color delete or a color remover first, and that's actually what we did on her. I just didn't film it. So about 2 months ago, she had all over level like 4 or 5 dark hair, and all we did was the Scruples color remover on the ends and then refreshened her base color, so it almost gave her like an ombre look, and she wore that for a couple months. It didn't damage her hair at all, but it lifted out the ends just a little bit, and then now she is back 2 months later and she's got some regrowth and the ends have faded out even more, and now we were ready to go through and highlight. So I liked doing that on her as our first step just because it was a really good way to see what her hair was going to do without damaging it and getting a little bit of lift in there. But now that we are to this point, I want to just go through and do a highlight because that's how we're going to get the best amount of lift. She eventually wants to be pretty blonde again, but I told her that was going to take a while. She's getting married next January, so I told her that we have a good year to get her to the blonde that she's wanting, and slow and steady wins the race. So we are starting off with a highlight today and seeing what we get.
Without you.
Okay, so the back is completely foiled up now, and the little pattern I have with my assistant is as soon as I am done foiling, she goes back through with that shades and then she taps through the roots in between the foils. And we have this process for paint betweens, for balayaging or tipping out the ends, and it works really, really well. And I just move on to the next section as she does that. And shout out to my assistant. I would literally be lost without her. I tell her every day how much I love her and that I literally could not do my job without her. And she actually asked me the other day, she's like, how many clients could you do a day if you didn't have like an assistant? And I was like, probably 3, and we do 10 a day with her. So she really does make all the difference, and I'm going to leave her Instagram right here because you guys need to follow her. She is so funny, such a good person, and is amazing at hair. So shout out to Caitlin, love you so much, and I am never letting you go.
Remember myself, my name. Forgot about all you tried to change. Familiar was the sound of your voice as I continue to walk on by. It has been a year and now I'm living on the line. It has been a year and now I'm thinking
Okay, so in the front, I just started with one slice, and then I just led after that with baby lights. I don't want her to have too chunky of a highlight in the front or a strong money piece at all, just because I'm not sure how light we're going to get today. And the last thing I would want is for her to be super, super bright in the front and then have the rest still be pretty dimensional with some dark throughout. So I did a pretty light highlight with a small slice for a baby light up front. And then I am just working my way through right here and doing more baby lights. I'm taking really fine sections like I always do. Baby lights are my go-to. You guys know that. And this way we're going to get a really accurate lift and a nice grow out until her next session.
I admit that I've lost my place. My memory's gone erased. Like a scratch, only the scar remains. For we are better apart from all the pain. Distant like the stars above. There's no love I cannot see. And in a moment, that's when I knew I'm better off right here without you.
Okay, now it's time to mix her root smudge. I am going to be using 5N, 5NA Redken Shades, of course. And the reason I'm using this is because I want my base to be a 5N to match that base color we did in between the foils. But then I'm just adding a little bit of 5NA because she did lift a little bit warm since we were lifting through that permanent color. And the NA is going to help counteract that. And just a little tip when you're mixing NA in with your formula, it is very strong, especially the Shades one. So I always mix 1/4 of my formula NA to 3/4 N. Now I'm mixing up just a little bit of 6T, and I am doing this to paint between on the mid shaft where she had most of that permanent color. And I'm going to be toning 3 different separate formulas. The base color, that 6T for the mid shaft, and then next we are going to be mixing up our N toner. And here I am using 8V, 8N, and 9P, and this is going to be for the blondie blondes that pulled really well. Now we are pulling her foils, and as you can see, she lifted pretty well. We do have some banding in there where there was permanent color, but for the most part, I am pretty excited about how she lifted.
Without you, I remember myself, my name. Forgot about all you tried to change.
And with a deep conditioner sitting on her ends, I am now doing her base color. So this is that 5N, 5NA from Redken Shades EQ. I am just smudging it down about 1 inch to 2 inches depending on the section. We're going to let that process for about 15 minutes total, and then we are going to go through and do the mid shaft and the ends.
Familiar was the sound of your voice as I continue to walk on by. It has been a year and now I'm living on the line. It has been a year and now I'm thinking what's mine, that I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. Forgetful, I admit that I've lost my place. My memory's gone erased. Like a scratch, only the scar remains. For we are better
Okay, now that that base color has been applied, we are doing that 6T on the mid shaft. And as you can see, I'm leaving the base color on, and then I am just painting through the mids wherever I feel like it's just a little too brassy and I want to kick that tone out. And now I am just going to be combing through. It's going to blend that base and that mid-tone in together. And since I have conditioner on the ends, it's not going to bleed into the ends, and then we will tone those separately. Okay, the roots and mids sat for about 10 to 15 minutes, and now I am dipping her back in the bowl, rinsing everything out, and now I am going to glaze her ends and just mix it throughout her hair so that any piece that pulled a little lighter is now going to be touched with this tone, and it's going to give us a really nice neutral creamy blonde. Okay, it's Fanola time. I'm using the No Orange mask, and the reason I'm using this is that the blue helps counteract the orange, so it just kicks out any remaining brassy tones that we have in there, and then the mask is going to help hydrate her hair as we are washing it.
Without you, I remember myself, my name, forgot about all you tried to change. Familiar was the sound of your voice as I continue to walk on by.
Okay, so she is all rinsed and toned. We are now going to be styling her hair. We're going to be blow drying, straightening, and then we are going to be adding in just a few tapes in the front for frontals. She's trying to keep her hair short and get it a little bit healthier, and then once we reach her gold color, we are going to be putting a full head of extensions back in. But we wanted to add a few tapes in there just because she feels like she has like a mullet type cut if she doesn't have extensions in. So adding just a few tapes helps fill that front in, and a lot of clients actually love having a few tapes in the front. It makes a really big difference. We are using my round brush to style her hair today. Keep in mind that you can buy this and my other brushes on jzstyles.com. You guys, I am so excited about how this color turned out. You can see here that we got pretty good lift. We still have a rooted look with some dimension throughout, but the blend is really, really good. And I'm so happy that it lifted pretty evenly. When you're working with color bands, you never know what's going to happen. But I'm super happy with the results, and I'm excited to see where we can get her over the next few months as she wants to progressively go lighter. So we are just going to be trimming her up and then adding in those extensions like I had talked about before. So we are just adding in a few tapes in the front. We are using my hair extension line in the color Desmond. It was a perfect dead-on match for her hair, and it's just going to help her transition a little bit as she grows her hair out. If you haven't shopped my hair extension line before, you can do so in the description box below. I will leave the link down there. We have 4 different methods and 25 shades as of right now, and it is just continuously growing. We now have brushes. We will soon have other products, and I'm super excited about where it's going. And I just have to thank all of you guys because you're the reason that I'm able to live my dreams and have this company. If I didn't have the support of my followers and subscribers, I wouldn't be where I am. So Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you. You guys mean the world to me.
I admit that I've lost my place. My memory's gone erased. Like a scratch, only the scar remains. For we are better apart from all the pain. Distant like the stars above. There's no love I cannot see. And in a moment, that's when I knew I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off. Without you, I remember myself, my name. Forgot about all you tried.
All right, you guys, we are all done with her hair. The extensions just add to it and make it look even better. But keep in mind, we just have them in the front, so everything you're seeing in the back, and for most of the part, this is her own hair. It lifted so well, and I can't wait to do the next session in a few months and see where we get after that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope that it was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you have any video requests in the comments below, because I am always looking for new ideas. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.
To change, familiar was the sound of your voice as I continue to walk on by. It has been a year and now I'm living on the line. It has been a year and now I'm thinking what's mine. That I'm better off right here without you.
Okay, really quick, I wanted to keep this clip in here. This is my assistant taking pictures of my client. We always do before and afters, and I think it's really important, especially if you are trying to build on Instagram, to do this. We have a nice backdrop at the salon, and we really feel like this is important. If you guys are wanting me to do a video on the picture taking process, how to market yourself on Instagram, that type of thing, let me know, and I will for sure do a video like that.